Oh, that's good. All right, thanks, Jim.
Yeah, it just reflects the transfer of funds.
Yeah.
It's already been agreed upon.
Okay, and the Wallace Engineering?
Yes. Number 2.
Yep.
Supplemental professional service agreement, number 2 from Wallace Engineering, the East Street improvements, and this is the project rescoping. So a lot of this has to do with deletion of the roundabout, and this will shift engineering from Reed Middleton to DKS. Staff is submitting SPSA number 2 from Wallace Engineering in regards to the rescoping of East Street improvements. The project changes include deletion of all design work pertaining to the roundabout, including existing commercial building structure, lead, asbestos survey, as well as the upland planning, final designs. Also, safe routes to school is on there, the safety zone improvements there, and then obviously traffic signal improvements at 17th and E. There are no additional costs associated with the changes to the scope of this project. And we are recommending to authorize the mayor to sign the Wallace Engineering Supplemental Professional Service Agreement number 2 for the rescoped East Street Improvements Project.
Question? You say there are no additional costs associated with the changes to the scope of the project? Is that because everything's already budgeted in there? Okay. And
Yes.
the cost data is left blank up here. Is that because it's already budgeted?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you.
Any questions on this one? Some fascia basalt work.
So item number 6, upcoming change order number 3 for basalt fascia work for the SR-14 pedestrian tunnel. Staff is recommending the city award the facet of construction project to the lowest responsible bidder. We had 4 bids come in. B&B Masonry was the lowest responsible bidder, with the inclusion of an increase of 50 working days to the project to perform these improvements. The added cost for supplying and installing all of the stone anchoring materials and earthwork / backfill. The final change order amount, including tax, will be $107,818.05. These were, the money basically came from building contingency funds, so it's already part of the project. Depending on bid award and notice to proceed, tunnel will open probably the first week in April. And recommended actions: authorize the mayor to sign change order number 3 for the pedestrian tunnel project when it becomes available.
Dave.
Always one, at least one.
That's okay.
Jim, is any of this decorative as opposed to structural?
I think all of it's decorative. Basically, the wing walls are made of concrete, and yeah, this is decorative. This is aesthetic.
So we're going to pay $107,000 to make it beautiful.
Do we have a grant for that?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's all still covered in the grants.
Yes. The money's already there, so this was kind of a contingency that was brought up early on in the project. If there was some money left over, that we would do more to the project, I guess.
State funding?
This came from state and federal.
Yeah, this is state. Well, it's mostly federal funding. The Recovery Reinvestment Act funding.
So we're going to spend money that we're borrowing from the Chinese to do this?
That's,
Is it stimulus money?
the source of the funds comes from the ARA funds.
Okay. I don't mean to be critical of your efforts. I'm amazed that you get all these grants. I'm pleased that you do. I'm just not real tickled with the source. And that's not a local issue. That's,
Understood.
Well, that being said, if we chose not to do this, what would happen to the funds, that residual funds that are left?
We would just turn it back, same as we've done with, we've already done that with another $80,000 worth of funds that weren't needed for
Right,
it that
I
we turned
remember
back.
that.
Move those over to one of Camus's projects, Ledbetter.
But the source wouldn't change, just the project would if we chose to do that. I mean,
Correct.
in seeing this basalt fascia, to me, it completes the project, so it enhances it. It is a decorative, but I think it does enhance it.
I think that it's a little, there's some history to those as well. And it's part of an economic development tool to bring tourists over here to see them. Because they're replicas of real
That-
ones.
mhm.
And, you know, people, like, there was a gentleman down to see me from CTED last week. And I recommended a good day trip to him, and he was so excited. He's gonna bring his wife down. He's from Olympia. And they're gonna go to Pendleton, and they're gonna go through the tunnel, they're gonna walk on the dike, and then they're gonna get in their car and climb Beacon Rock, and then they're gonna go to the Interpretive Center and have lunch, and, oh, they're going to Papa's for coffee.
And the other thing is that the funds, when the project was designed, you don't know what's gonna happen when you open up the ground. Suppose you find a native artifact. Everything goes into a cocked hat. So you build into the funding of the project for those contingencies. And if you don't spend it on that contingency, then you have another contingency. And kind of, at this point, the contingency is decorate the tunnel.
So we were lucky, we didn't find any artifacts.
Yeah, we were lucky.
All right, I'm getting a better understanding here, thank you.
Other questions on it? I've got two items, one of them from, both professional service agreements, one of them from Don English. This is basically just renewing and putting in place a professional services agreement for indigent defense in those instances where the individual that we already have to do those has a conflict of interest in a particular case. So it puts into place a $2,000, $2,000 was about what we spent last year for those cases that came up, that the professional service agreement that we have with the primary individual had conflicts in the cases.
At the risk of wearing out my welcome, being a newcomer, why are we defending people in court?
Because the United States Constitution says we have to,
On what types of charges, I guess I would ask?
on any charge.
Criminal charge.
Yeah.
Any criminal charge? I always thought that was a county.
Ooh,
No.
ooh.
Right. If you can.
Miranda rights are
Yeah,
are
if you can
instilled
afford
by
to
the
hire someone
Constitution.
to be appointed to represent you.
Only if they're arrested in the county by the county sheriff. If they're arrested in Washougal by Washougal, that's Washougal's problem.
If the judge so decrees.
It's
Thank
not
you.
cheap either.
I can imagine, Molly.
Yep. But no, that's the reason that we have to budget for it and actually provide it in many cases. I think last year, what did we hit last year in the total budget for indigent defense itself?
Close to $50,000.
I think we're like 40, close to 50, like 44, 45,000.
It could be a lot worse than that, couldn't it?
Yeah,
In a hurry.